very long overdue update on what's going on. A bit of a double update here. I've got the Help for Heroes Ultramarines charity raffle win an army project I've finally been able to start working on. You can see I'm going to work on the Devastators. I have an arm in the way, sprues cleaned. I've got some forge weld bits I start to clean up. What's going on? And as you can see, the jet bike, which is, well, the jet bike itself is done really. There's only a little bit of detail to add onto the handlebars, and I'm working on the rider, which I've just mocked up here. I'm going to do a little zoom out and we'll see things properly in a second. Right, here we go. Right, well, so let's start with the Ultramarines. I had this idea a little while back that because they're going to be with a fourth company with the green trim on the shoulder pads, don't know, fourth company. I was reading some of the Horse Heresy stuff, and I read Battle for the Abyss, and I got the McCragg's Honour book, and I realised in the artwork of that book you had some of the Marines with a green shoulder pad trim. I thought, that's interesting. And then I was reading Mark of Calth, and it talks about the fourth company there, and there's a few named Marines, and it sort of added up to this idea where I thought, because the fourth company in the first millennium, they're known as Defenders of Calth, it would be cool if they had little bits of armour from the Horus Heresy itself. Perhaps guys who fought on the McCragg's Honour ship, or on Calth in the Underground War. Perhaps I had this idea that perhaps some of the best, I don't know, not exactly veterans or people who've proved their worth, were given armour to wear from the Horus Heresy, from the guys who were back there on Calth. So I've got some iron armour which I thought would suit the Devastators. So, well, I'm trying to show you, that's iron armour legs. I've given them a good soak for a while, for a week in a tank of water, a bit of detergent, and I've given them a scrub. I'll fit the parts together and then I'll give them another final clean before I finally glue them, and do what I remember Chuffy was saying to do, where you spray them with a coat of purity seal before priming and painting. So I'm going to use some bits from those. What I wanted to do for these guys is I was going to give them the heavy bolters, 2 heavy bolters and 2 missile launchers. Remember, like the old rogue trader type they are missile launchers. I always like those. So I have 2 of those and some bits of armour. I'm thinking of along the lines of when I'm painting them, perhaps using the names that are in the Mark of Calth. Actually, what's funny is it's all in the book of some of the warriors that are in there. I think there was about 5 of them were named. I might paint it on the shoulder pads, or perhaps on the back banner. I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe on a cloth like this here. Maybe, not sure. See how it goes. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do with that. They have to be sent off by the end of January. So I'm not going to go crazy with converting things, other than because I was spending ages, as you know. My project's taken a long time to get through. So I'll be using bits and bobs and try to make it really cool. And I think I'm going to give them. I know I'm going to give the sergeant the iron armour helmet and another accoutrement. Okay, right, so now let's have a look at the jet bike. Let's do this right in the camera at the same time. So, jet bike, for the most part it's done. Let's get in here. And a little jiggly poke here. I'm not using the whole of the Space Marine Scout arms, just a portion of them. I just blue tacked it on there. I'm actually using these bits of Empire, Pistolier's arms. There's one guy with a sword arm there. So the idea was, when I was putting this together, I decided to use the Scout legs because they were the right size. They came with the bike, the original Scout bike, and they fitted it. But for a different torso, because it's going to be a human rider. It was going to be, rather. The torso didn't quite fit. The human torsos were too small, so I had to use something bigger. So I used a, I think it was a Vampire Count's chest armour. But because that was quite big and it didn't quite sit on the detail, I'll just have a look in here, look at the camera. And the little white part there, my pointy tool. In here, I've had to build it up with a bit of plastic card. You can see there, it's got a bit of a higher waist because this detail here was in the way. So I've built that up. I hate Bazooka. And I started giving us its night-like armour. So I've got a little shoulder pad just blue tacked in place here, and there's the arm which I've started working on here. So I needed to use the forearms which fitted the bike, but I'm going to use these knight's arms, arms here. I'm sort of cut them down, fit them together, and I think somewhere here, yeah, have a look in my tray. I've cut elbow part off. I've actually very carefully sliced it away and just cut it off the arm and sort of drill into it. So I'll end up drilling it a bit more and using that to fill in the gaps so it fits like the other armour on there. So there'll be a lot of fiddling there to do, and I'll then give him the right proportioned arms for this guy. And as you can see on the end, I'll get it there. I'm working on I started off calling an archeotech pistol, but it's since become more of an archeotech gun, I think, because it's become quite big. And I decided to give it sort of multi-barreled sort of look, which kind of, it's funny because the arm was from a pistolier and they had these multi-barrel guns. I decided to go with something which was a bit of a what do you call it, kind of precursor to an assault cannon, perhaps precursor to a rotor cannon, which they use in 30k games. So I've made a drum magazine out of tubing, so a few different lengths of tubing pushed inside each other, and then sort of filed down a bit, and that's a thin end of a piece of rod tubing, cut down and then filed very thinly, and then glued on. So I've made a little ejection port. I'm going to put a bit of detail on the back, put some tubes, and this, which is the scope, which would be a bit pointless on a gun which spins around barrels fast, will end up being a sort of cooling chamber for the mechanism inside, which imagine is there. So I'll have some tubes running from the back of that into the end of the gun. So that's that part there. So with all these bits making the model look quite big, it was quite lucky because I was reading the Horse Heresy book Fulgrim, and it spoke about these Geno warriors, which were basically they called them Gene Bolt men. So they're like not space marines, but they're sort of very bulky, larger than an average bloke, which suits this. So the whole idea of this being an archaic jetbike is now become, I suppose it's still a bit archaic, the idea of it, is now being set in 30k instead. And the guy I'm doing this for, Tom, hello Tom, huge thumb up there, he loved the idea, he thought it was really cool, and it suited it more with this armour. So I've been chopping and changing things around. I've taken the crest of this pistolier's head there and filed it down to a point. I might give him a moustache, not sure yet. Got a little bit of sanguinary guard detail here, which replaced this sort of pointy vampire armour which is on there. So a bit more wings and things like that. Wings and things. I like that little detail there, the wings, that little eagle there, which fits in the whole Imperial thing. So he's Imperial Army, he's a Geno warrior. He was going to be called, originally, isn't now Captain McNuggetus? Yeah, because of the chicken head. So that's come along, but because I got to do the Ultramarines, I've spoken to Tom, my customer, about this, my friend, mate. He's happy with me getting on with this Ultramarines, and then carrying on with the miniature afterwards, the jetbike afterwards. So this is actually going to become like quite a long update. So I was going to do it in 2 bits. Now I've got it in 1. So here we are, Ultramarines jetbike. Check out everyone else's Hope for Heroes Ultramarines Army charity raffle. I'll put a link down below to IDIC Beer's channel and his page where you can buy the ticket. And it costs £2. You could win a whole company of Ultramarines. 4th company, Defenders of Calth. Defenders of Calth. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. It's been a long time. Cheers. Thanks to all new subscribers. Even though I haven't put anything up for ages. I was thinking of doing some sort of competition or a challenge or a kind of a project to do that everyone can join in and have a go doing stuff. I'm out of breath, need a drink, I want to eat sausage rolls. Have a good Christmas, and hopefully I'll get something up soon. If not, take care and have a happy new year. Merry Christmas. Thumbs up. Yes.